I spent years shrinking myself in order to be digestible for other people. I'd always felt like there was something polarizing about my presence. I was either immediately welcomed and adored in the spaces I entered, or ridiculed and rejected. There was no in-between, no gray area. As most of us do, I internalized that judgment and rejection and tricked myself into believing that I was the problem. And so the shrinking began. It started with monitoring the things I'd say in conversation. I used to be so open, so free, so unapologetically expressive with my thoughts and opinions. Now I was basically censoring myself. I stopped talking about myself and my life, often redirecting the conversation to what the group thought and felt. I put my feelings on the back burner. I told myself that no one was interested in the things I had to say, and that my opinions and my feelings were simply an inconvenience to others. This spiral continued for about 2 years. I had shrunk myself to the point that I didn't even recognize my own voice anymore. I had lost touch with who I was. That was until I hit my breaking point. 6 months ago, I quit my full-time corporate job to pursue my dream of becoming a creative entrepreneur. It was the first time in a long time that I had chosen myself in a really big way. And so began the journey of shedding parts of myself that no longer served me, that actually were never mine to begin with and never mine to carry. And now, by the grace of God, I'm back in a space where I like the sound of my own voice. I like my ideas. I love my feelings, and I love my opinions. I know my worth, and I know my value. And I know I deserve to take up space. But putting that into practice is easier said than done. I'm going to this event that I last minute decided to attend. I came across this poster in the cafe I was in today, and it was advertising website design services. I went to the creator's Instagram just to see what they were about, and turns out they're also like an event planner. They work in fashion, all this cool stuff. And so they're hosting this event for artists and writers at a wine bar, which is super cool. It's like all the things I enjoy: art, writers, books, and wine. And 2, I have a dream of curating events that are similar to this. But if I'm being fully honest, the main reason I'm going is because I want to challenge myself to get outside of my comfort zone and to choose expansion over fear. This is so hard to do. Like, how do people do their makeup and talk? I can't. The other reason that I'm going to this event is because I've kind of been a social recluse for the past few months. Like, I've only hung out with 4 friends in like 6 months, and not like frequently. So I definitely am ready to just get back outside and to meet people. You know, I do think I've become a little bit socially awkward, which is really not me. Like, I'm actually a very social person. I thrive in social environments. Even if initially I feel a little weird or uncomfortable, I'm really good at just like getting into the flow and making people comfortable. But now I feel uncomfortable talking to people, and that's kind of a problem, especially because I'm in this new phase of life where like I'm rebuilding my life, right? And so I want to be in spaces where like I'm working with people or meeting people who have similar interests as me. You know, there's opportunity for collaboration, there's opportunity to build like really beautiful, meaningful friendships and relationships, and I want to push myself to do that. So when I found this listing for this event, initially I was like, oh my God, this is so aligned. Like, what are the odds? I was looking at this bulletin board, and when I saw that poster, I was like, something about it, I just felt drawn into it. And mind you, I'm not building a website or anything yet. But for some reason, I just took the little tab off the poster to get the person's information, for the website services. And next thing you know, I'm like on their Instagram and I'm seeing that they're doing these events, and this event just stood out to me, and I was like, okay, I bet this event already passed. No, it's today, the 27th. So I'm like, okay, this feels pretty aligned. And even just like the energy that I got, this sounds so woo-woo, but like the energy that I got from the poster, from the listing, from just like the vibe of the person that's curating it, I feel really excited about it. It feels good. And so I've just been allowing myself to feel with my body and to follow what feels good, obviously within reason. So yeah, like I feel like I've been trying to talk myself out of this, but I think I'm trying to talk myself out of it for a reason, which means maybe something special is going to happen when I go. I've also been working on detaching like expectations from events like this, or honestly detaching expectations from literally any and everything. Like if I put a piece of art out into the world, like I'm not expecting validation, or I'm not expecting a certain amount of attention or likes, I'm just putting it out. If I transform my body or do something different with my hair, I'm not expecting anything. If I meet a new person who I really vibe with and it turns out that, they don't want to be friends or whatever, it's fine. Like I'm just really working on not attaching expectation to outcomes anymore, right? Like still being intentional with my action, but not expecting outcomes has been something I'm trying out. And so this is also an experiment, right? Like I want to see if curating these sort of creative events is something that really calls to me. And I also want to challenge myself to show up in a way that's aligned with the person that I am now. I'm a lot more confident in myself. Like I wholeheartedly believe in myself, and I believe that I am capable of doing pretty much anything I set my mind to and that I feel passionately about. And that's a feeling that has been really fluid for me throughout my life. Like I've had periods in my life where I really believed in myself, and then I had periods where I let other people's opinions get to me, or my own self-doubts get in the way of me going after the things that I want. And I just no longer want to operate from that space anymore. Like I feel like I've spent so much of my life letting fear get in the way and letting fear talk me out of opportunities and life-changing decisions. And I'm just tired of doing that, And so I want to challenge myself to go to this event, be in this space with people who are in the same industry that I'm in, and like see if I can show up as like my most confident self. I'm in this space of just wanting to challenge myself to take up space, because I have this tendency when I get anxious or when I don't feel welcomed in spaces to minimize myself, to minimize my accomplishments, the things that I'm working on. Like in the past when people have asked me like, what do I do? And I would talk about YouTube, and I was trying to show up in a way that was like, I'm a YouTuber and I do YouTube and I make videos. Because I was afraid of what they would think, or because I didn't feel qualified to be in that room or whatever, I was like, oh, I just make videos. They're stupid. And I don't want to do that today. Like, I want to show up and be like, yeah, I'm a writer and I am an aspiring filmmaker and I make YouTube videos and document my life, and I'm also a podcaster and a speaker and all of these things that I'm really trying to develop and build in my life. And so I figured I would film this because I know there's someone who is debating on whether to go to that event by themselves, go to that party by themselves, or whatever it is. And you're stopping yourself because you don't have a safety blanket, like a friend to take with you. and you are afraid of showing up and being seen, right? And you feel like you can't step into your most confident self because you don't feel like you're ready. You don't feel like you had all of your shit together yet. Like when you go to these networking events, I feel like everyone has like their business card ready, they have their socials ready. And don't get me wrong, preparation is important, but I honestly think like people just vibe off of energy, you know? And so if you go in there just like with this kind of sales hat on, you're literally like breaking the opportunity for connection. You're getting in the way of that. And so I just think it's important to challenge ourselves doing little things like this, like going to an event where you're going to advocate for yourself and you're going to speak confidently about yourself. And the beautiful part is you're never trapped. If you get uncomfortable or you start getting so anxious that you just feel like you can't be in there, at least you showed up, you know, at least you showed up. Chances are I might not even vibe with the people that are at this event. You know, I have no idea who anyone there is. I have never been to this wine bar before. Everything could be awful, right? But at least I showed up and I did my best. And that's the most important thing. You know, this isn't about like getting people's numbers or like making connections. It's more about like challenging myself to do something that is scary and that my fear is trying to talk me out of. And usually when my fear is trying to talk me out of something, unless it's like obviously dangerous or bad for me, it's because I'm on the brink of something really good. And I'm just learning to trust that. And I want you guys to do the same. Can you see me? I hope you can see me. Okay, so this is the fit. So I have this very cute fluffy bag, my little leather jacket that we just got at a consignment sale. Then the best part, these pants, which first of all, the butt, but can you even see these details? Okay, let's look at these details and appreciate them for all that they are, because what beautiful, thrifted. And because I grew a butt in the last 2 years, not because of working out, by the way, just because I have a boyfriend that likes to feed me, these pants fit like a glove. And then the hair, face card, always on fleek. And then on fleek, how old am I? Actually, how old am I? Okay, as you can see, I get really excited when I get to dress up. Literally, dressing up is more fun than going out. It's also almost 8 o'clock and the event started at 7. Okay, I'm gonna be late, but I kind of intended to, because like if it wasn't the vibe, I would just pretend like I was a stranger and leave. I'm always prepared with an escape plan, baby. All right, I'm gonna head out. See you in a bit.